Hi, everybody. Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Aspertillo.ai. And with me today, I've got Paul Croker, and we're going to be talking about IT and how you can do IT differently. So, Paul, before we get into the questions I've got to ask you, where can people find you?
So apart from where I reside, which is probably not helpful for other people, it's probably online. So the likes of LinkedIn, social media. People often bump into me at IT conferences saying, "Oh, I've been following on LinkedIn. Great to see you at the conference here and having a chat and a coffee with you or a cup of tea with you."
Good. And you're pretty active on social, aren't you?
I am, yes, to the annoyance of my wife.
Okay. So first question, doing IT differently is your core mantra. What is the single biggest thing standard corporate IT providers get completely wrong when talking to business leaders?
I think first and foremost is traditionally they lead with tech, not with the business outcome. And I think that's a big failing, not just in corporate, but just generally across IT and tech people. They know the shiny stuff, and they're excited by that. And they want the business owner to share the excitement, but they don't have the same level of excitement as they do because they're coming at it from a different lens and different perspective. So it's about the perspective on it.
By the way, we are going to come back to your shirt in a moment for anybody that's watching. If you notice Paul's shirt, we will end up talking about that. So you've worked with everything from massive pan-European space companies to small IT teams. What's a lesson you've learned in the corporate stratosphere that applies perfectly to the small business owner?
Requirement. Everything starts with a requirement. Why is the business or the client or the prospect asking about that today and not yesterday? Something's driving that, and we as tech people need to grasp onto that and use that as the catalyst to really deliver what they're looking for, rather than leading it with the technology.
So it's about the business issue, you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then the stakeholders and the people that are signing off on it understand what they're getting, understand why they need it, and then we're all aligned. The IT people know what they're delivering, based off that requirement.
Because we before we went live, we were talking about AI agents.
Yes.
And it's very easy, isn't it, to get romantic about the tech. Oh, we need to be into AI, but actually, why do you need to be in AI?
Absolutely. What is it you're trying to do, and why are you trying to do that? I often sit and laugh at adverts on TV on the evenings, because you see every product out there now has AI built into it, and you're like, no, that's not AI. You've automated a process. It's not got intelligence to do it itself. You still have to do something, and it's going through a set of gates. So for me, I think there's some confusion around it as helping the matter, and we need to solve that.
Yeah, I talk to a lot of salespeople because I'm doing some research at the moment around AI agents, and one of the things that's interesting is that when you ask them what are you currently doing with AI agents at the moment, and salespeople will say, well, we're using ChatGPT, or other LLMs are available,
Yep.
and we've added AI to our CRM, and that's
Yeah.
it. And I thought that was adding AI to your CRM was AI washing rather than actually doing anything with AI. So I mean, what are you seeing?
A real mixture. So there are businesses that are starting up now where they're starting off with AI as their foundation blocks, rather than just like a standalone CRM system and what we're doing for email and the traditional tool sets that people were thinking about. They're building that into it straight away. They want to do more with less. I think as well, we've kind of been here from a technology perspective, when we had the birth of the internet. That was going to change everything, and we were going to get rid of libraries and books. We've still got libraries and books, but we use them in a different way. And I think AI is going to be used in a different way. We're not necessarily going to lose jobs. We'll lose potentially some, the lower hanging fruit and automation of stuff and being able to do things quicker, but free people up to do more interesting things is my perspective on it.
Well, it's interesting because I remember being given a 386 laptop, which means something to me, but for many people watching this, it might not. And the company saying, you now do your own typing, which at the time was revolutionary. And we also had a sales secretary who got fired.
Yep.
And during the 90s, that happened a lot across business. And all of those sales secretaries ended up getting other jobs and doing other things. So while there was mass transformation in terms of the technology and people were let go, you don't hear those people complaining about it now, because actually they probably said, do you know, I went and got a better job in project management or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Agents, we're seeing things deployed all over the place, helping organizations transform what they do for them or for their clients. And I think it's the rinse and repeat stuff is really what people are picking up with now. But we're still seeing people use AI now just to do general searching. That we're not advanced enough with it yet to really take full advantage of it. I don't think just yet. It's getting there, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
So you talk a lot about the security first mindset. How do you pitch cybersecurity to a boardroom that just views it as an expensive, boring box ticking exercise?
I think you need to talk about it as part of a cohesive topic now. You can't look at it on its own because it needs to be baked into everything. So when you're saying, oh, we're going to bring a new CRM system in, okay, cool, that's great. How are we securing that? Has it got MFA? Is it following security practice? Where's the data stored in the back end? Who's accessing it? What's the license costs on that? All those things need to be sort of answered at the front when you're starting to work out which one you're going to use, because you can use that then to start taking off the table all the options, because there's, as you know, Tim, there's loads of options out there, but it helps you tune out the noise and get one that's fit for purpose, that takes security seriously. So for me, baking in security has to happen at the start, as soon as you've had the idea, pretty much.
I find cybersecurity interesting because in the last 2 days, I've come across 2 people that have been hacked. So VC, I was supposed to have a meeting with, basically sent me this cryptic email from a different email address saying sometimes IT challenges happen. And I thought, yeah, you've been hacked. And the guy that I was supposed to interview yesterday on the podcast didn't turn up. And when I said, so where are you? He said, oh, I got hacked and I forgot all about you. So, I mean, it's one of those things that always happens to other people. But when it happens to, everything works until it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And it might not be, you might not think your information's important, but as you know, Tim, data is the new oil, right? It's the new gold. It is critical. You do have information that people will want. And, you might do work with bigger clients, for example, and they're going to use you as a springboard to jump into or try and get access to those bigger clients. And how are they going to do that? Well, they might well realize, actually, if I can go through your inbox and realize you're talking to the sales director or the CEO or other people within that organization, you can then orchestrate a conversation by jumping into the middle of that conversation.
So if a business owner is completely overwhelmed by compliance, what are the basic fundamental controls they should lock down first before worrying about the complex stuff?
So first and foremost, I think it depends on what compliance or governance that you're looking to adhere to. There's all sorts of different ones out there, but some of the stuff doesn't always carry a cost in terms of buying another license or investing in some other tech to help with that. There's things like removing like admin access for all stuff. So if you can, for example, install a piece of software on your PC or your Mac, you've got admin privileges, which is a bit dangerous because if you're getting an email come in, as you've alluded to just now, people will have that malicious email will have admin credentials to do whatever it's doing, and you don't know what it's doing. Only it knows what it's doing. And then we're starting down that tricky route down to ransomware and all sorts of other horrible things can start kicking off as well. So there's some simple things like that is really good. MFA on accounts, it makes it annoying and difficult for you, but just think it's also making
MFA,
it Paul? Sorry, multi-factor authentication.
Okay, right. Thanks.
Or 2FA, two-factor authentication.
Okay.
IT loves abbreviations and shortening things, and we've got a whole load of them in our industry. So apologies for that. We often get caught up with that by just flipping it out there.
I saw someone on LinkedIn today, and their title was Chief TLA Officer. Now, I wasn't sure whether that meant that was a joke, as in 3-letter acronym officer, or whether TLA actually meant something. I think they were working at Dell or something like that. But if it did mean Chief 3-letter acronym officer, it was funny. But if it wasn't, I didn't know what it was. So
I think it needs to be used in that vein, because I think that makes much more sense, and people are more likely to engage with them.
Yeah. If they're chief three TLA, yeah. You act as a small v CIO, which is a virtual chief information officer for companies. For people who don't know, how does having an IT strategist differ from just having a tech support guy you call when the printer breaks?
So we all need a little bit of IT support when things go wrong. But how about enabling the business to make sure your tech's working in the first place? So it's a bit like having a service on your car. You might not need the service, but you have the service done on your car to try and make sure that when the MOT comes up, it's going to sell through that MOT. Or when you do that long trip or that trip, the car is going to be reliable and it's not going to break down. IT strategy is the same sort of thing. What I'm interested in is understanding what is it that you want IT to help your business deliver and enable, and then we can double down on that and find the right solutions, rather than just being reactive to stuff and it going wrong. It's actually ironic because if you get the strategy right, the reactive bit actually starts down tuning and you're not doing as much of the firefighting stuff, which traditionally people think, well, what am I paying for? Well, you're paying for that not to be a problem.
It's insurance, isn't it?
Yes.
You pay for money so that if your house gets broken into, the stuff is, but you pay it for years and years and years until your house gets broken into. So there's a classic stereotype that tech people and non-tech business leaders speak different languages. What is your secret to acting as the translator between the two?
Oof, that's a good one. So when I started my career off many years ago, and I've got the grey hair now coming through to prove it, I was told I was able to take technical conversations and join them up with non-technical people and act as that conduit. So for me, it comes to second nature. I pick up on what language people are using and how they phrase things, and I try and basically put what I'm trying to convey to them in that format so they understand. Are they a detail person? Or are they high level, like, Paul, don't bog down the details, just tell me what I need to know, and that's what I work on. So I work very much on that basis, and I think that lands quite well with the majority of the people that I work with.
I've known you for a number of years, and I've always thought you were very good at doing that. With storytelling as well, I've always thought that you were a good communicator. So
thank you.
You are a big believer in a community-first approach rather than strict competition in the IT space. How has prioritizing collaboration over competition actually helped your business?
So I often get involved in various community projects. People that know me will see me pop up in different places. In IT, there's a split. There's what we call like traditional IT people who kind of ring fence things and see everyone as competitors, and they're sort of guarding.
It's like I've got the information and I'm keeping it all for myself.
Yes, it took me years to
information is power.
This out, so I'm not going to share it with anybody else because that was really painful. Yeah, absolutely. But we believe in flipping that mindset. How do you share that with other people so they don't make that mistake? And guess what? You can learn from them on their mistakes. So therefore, we can do things quicker, not keep reinventing that wheel each time. And I think that's where the power is. And in IT as well can be quite lonely. We've got people working, especially if they're smaller MSPs or IT companies, working from one problem to the next problem to the next problem. It's tickets coming in, it's emails, it's phone calls. They want someone who can understand that we get it. We've been through that, and we're kind of like a bit of an agony aunt kind of service kind of thing, where we can sit there and go, look, we get it. We know it's difficult. Here's a safe place where you can kind of step away from that fire and kind of take a breath and share some war stories with peers.
I mean, you're always popping up on my LinkedIn feed, being at various conferences. And you're always with other people. So it's not here's Paul by myself. It's here's Paul and Steve and Anthea, and so there's always seems to be a community element to it. Whether you just get like people off the street and say, "I'm taking a selfie," and you stand next to me, I don't know, but.
It's not got that much thought behind it. It's literally, there are multiple different events out there. As you well know, IT is wide and deep, and cybersecurity conferences and other bits and pieces. But what I'm trying to do there is join those conversations up, because they can be quite siloed. and some people don't have the time to get to go there. So if I can take some information from conferences, events, and then the evening meetups that I run with MSPs or other organizations, I can then pull those people in and share that information, and we can raise all the boats, as they say, on that tide.
And why? I mean, I'm asking you things about the community because I do think in the IT space that a lot of people are very precious about the information that they have. And why do you think it's? I'm kind of come back to that. Why do you think it's a good idea to share?
For me, it's time. We only have so many hours to do stuff. And do you want to keep going over the same thing time and time again? But also, how are you developing as a business and as an individual? That CPD, we used to get that in corporate land. You go off and you have a time away from the tools to learn something or pick up some new skills. But you can't do that in sometimes when you're constantly firefighting, going from one problem to the next. So we need to be able to skill ourselves up, to see what's going on. The evolution of tech now is only getting quicker, and with AI, it's just gone absolutely ballistic. Just when you think it can't get any quicker, it does. So how are we managing that? And we've still got the same set number of hours we've always had to work with. Yes, you can work evenings and weekends if you want, but that's a slippery slope as well.
Yeah. If you have you have a great quote. Great things don't happen in your comfort zones. What is a recent risk you took or comfort zone you stepped out of that paid off?
I think really it was going back probably like 3 years ago. I stepped out of my comfort zone and joined an organization called GTIA, who were called CompTIA. They've done through a mergers and acquisitions piece and have got a new name and the rest of it. It's a global organization. But I put myself out there and joined their cybersecurity programs group because I felt with my background from the space companies and the other stuff that I've done, I've got something I can offer there, but also take the information from the larger corporates and bring it to smaller businesses. There was no one else really with my kind of background, and the things I was talking about were starting to resonate with others, but hadn't really been sort of deep rooted. They are more deep rooted now, obviously as time's gone on. But for me, joining that session was really powerful. I was also been invited to join an exec council for the cybersecurity group, which is global. And at the moment, I'm the only non-Americans person on that council. Right. So I'm representing the UK and Ireland region, the Benelux region, the DACH region, ASEAN, and ANZ as well. So I feel quite privileged to do that. And one of the objectives I've got is I want to pull in other people who have the same sort of mindset and skills from the other regions as well.
I interviewed somebody about cybersecurity a couple of months ago. They've written a book about it, about hack. And when they reposted it on LinkedIn, they actually said it was really nice to be interviewed by someone who knows nothing about cybersecurity, i.e. me, because all the people that they talked to about cybersecurity always became, it's like, that's not being hacked. When I was hacked, it was far worse than that, like the Four Yorkshiremen sketch by Monty Python, and I just asked them questions about it rather than that. So I can understand that sometimes when you get too close to IT people, it can become like my dad's bigger than your dad,
Absolutely. And they often the people I talk about, especially in the American stuff, talk about breaking the echo chamber. And they get stuck. They feel sometimes, some of them do feel they get stuck in that sort of echo chamber, the same voices, the same problems. And what's happening over there? What's happening in Europe and in the UK? Is it similar to what we're seeing here? And we can share those experiences through community, which is really powerful.
So last two questions. We're going to talk about your shirt.
Yes.
You say that on your LinkedIn profile that you do things with a good cup of tea and rock music. So we know that you run on a good cup of tea and a lot of heavy music. If you had to pick one band, whether it's AC/DC, Iron Maiden, or Metallica, to represent your business philosophy, who is it and why?
That's a great one. I'd probably have to go with Iron Maiden because they tell a story.
They run through the hills.
Yeah, something like that. I just like the fact that it tells a story through music.
Yeah,
and it's that storytelling. It's upbeat. There's a song for every type of emotion and stuff that's out there, and I'm sure we've got stories in IT that cover all that as well.
Well, there is a view that they're actually all history teachers, aren't they? And yeah,
I just think it's fascinating, and I just like I watched a documentary recently on it as well, and I think that the deep roots of where it's come from and the fact that it almost never happened was pretty impressive as well.
So, last question to wrap things up. Every great podcast guest needs a walk-on song. What track are we adding to the playlist for your episode, and what does that song mean to you?
Oof. I think for me, it's I'm actually gonna go slightly different. I'm gonna go AC/DC Back in Black.
Okay.
When I hear it, I love the beat, the guitar on it's phenomenal, and I just the hairs stand up in the back of my neck like they are do now because I can hear it in my head. So I think if I'm walking out to a stage, I'm about to deliver a piece or a keynote or something of note in front of people, that's going to get me fired up, ready to go.
It's an amazing album, isn't it? Back in Black. I remember when it came out, and it still sells today, doesn't it? So
can't beat classics. They're classics for a reason.
Yeah. Paul, thank you so much for coming on. Remind people where they can find you.
Absolutely. Social media, LinkedIn is probably the best place to find me. You see me pop up in various places, conferences, etc. And this shirt, if I go to conferences and I'm not wearing this shirt, I get people come up to me saying, "Where's the shirt? You're not wearing it." I said, "I know, I've got to wash it sometimes as well."
Yeah.